about the fact that Jason Kander was Hillary Clinton's co-chairman, national campaign co-chairman, supported and enthusiastically backed Obamacare, and called for the imposition of a national energy tax. He was a national Democrat in a state where you can't be a national Democrat. But unlike the rest of these races, which became idiosyncratic, aimed around the personality and the local issues of the individual candidates, this was all about three big things: Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and Obamacare.
So now what? Does Trump go in there?
It's a good question. Let's just leave it there.
No, can I ask? But seriously, does Trump go in there? Let's assume that he secures the victory tonight, and he comes out and says whatever he says tonight, and then the victory speech is tomorrow. Does he go in there with a mandate? I mean, if this number continues to climb, what if he wins Pennsylvania and he wins Michigan, and he's helped the Republicans keep the Senate, and he has undivided government? He's helped it for the first time since 1928. You're saying the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House.
Absolutely.
57 million votes.
After everything, the predictions were she's either going to win by a landslide or Trump will eke out a victory.
Yes.
Instead of he goes in there with this solid, big win. And all the rest of it. Does he have a mandate, and what does it look like?
I think absolutely he would be right to claim one, and I would expect that he would say, okay, well, border security, #1 issue, immigration, we're going to have to deal with that. Repeal and replace Obamacare. He might say, Paul Ryan, can I get that plan of yours? Let's stick it in there. Let's see what we can make. And also, this is the other thing I think about him. He wrote The Art of the Deal, and I don't think that he is going to be one that will believe that purity is so important that he can't make a deal with people in Congress. So then you have him be able to say, maybe, look what I've done. I came here, I was able to break the gridlock, I had a mandate, and here are the 7 things that I said I could do for you, and I delivered on all of those.
That's the good part of Trump. That, you know, I think he will compromise, right? I mean, his history suggests he will.
And he will not let the media bash him over the head for compromising.
And the partisan stripes won't stop him from compromising. But wait, I'm not finished making my point. But the question is whether one's criticisms of Trump, one's challenges of Trump, you know, some congressional member who's viciously critical of him, as we've seen the Republicans do it to Barack Obama. This is what they do.
Right.
Whether that puts you on the outside in a way where no compromise can be reached, whether members of the press are still going to be invited into the White House press corps. I mean, there's no law requiring him to have press briefings at all.
How about, for example, Ben Sasse? There has been no more absolute critic of Donald Trump in the Republican Party than Senator Ben Sasse from Nebraska. Of course, there's also nobody smarter about health care in the Republican Party than Ben Sasse. He is the smartest brain on that subject in the Republican Party, bar none. Here's the kind of threshold questions that determine whether presidents are successful or not. Can Donald Trump look past the fact that Ben Sasse thinks he's a pig and say,
he's asking a lot.
Did you read the tweets? You could tell what Sasse thought about him, and it was pretty clear that he found him a moral odium. And if he can look past what Sasse thought of him and say, but you are the smartest man in the room when it comes to fixing the healthcare system, so I'm going to listen to your plan even though you don't like me and I don't like you.
How much does he hand the keys, Monica, over to Congress to take care of some of the inner workings of this legislation and then take credit for it?
Well, you know, I think it's interesting because I think what we might see in the first 2, maybe 4 years is a mirror image of what we saw with President Obama in his first 2 years when he had huge majorities in both houses of Congress and was able to get whatever he wanted through. Remember his first meeting after being sworn in as president with the Republican leadership in the White House. He looked at them and he said, I won.
Elections have consequences.
And elections have consequences. And a lot of the folks who had opposed him were willing to work with him or at least hear him out. And I think in this case, I mean, this is why I was opposed to what Donald Trump was doing in waging war against Paul Ryan and some in the Republican leadership. I understood why he did it. But I thought that he should have extended an olive branch because should he be elected president, he's going to need them to get his legislative agenda through. But I also think if he wins tonight and he emerges with that map and a mandate, that those Republicans in Congress who have been so critical of him are going to fall right in line and be most helpful in getting all of the agenda.
Because they don't need to love Donald Trump. They need to love the voters who put him in the office.
That's right. That's exactly right.
You know, this when we came in 2001, we had members of Congress who had been devoted followers of John McCain, had campaigned for him actively around the country, and had been quite critical of the governor of Texas, and were skeptical of him. And by the end of the first 6 months or so, most of them were supporters and advocates for
we've updated our electoral scorecard.
What is going on? We are going to make this decision now. The Fox News decision desk has called Pennsylvania for Donald Trump. This means that Donald Trump will be the 45th president of the United States, winning the most unreal, surreal election we have ever seen. This candidacy starting on an escalator ride 1 year ago and going down